with a live audience here at the Marsh Theater in San Francisco. It's the Will and Willie Show, and I'm Paul Wells.
I'm Will Durst.
And I'm Willie Brown.
And we have reconvened our meetings for the next several months up to the election day with the Republican convention starting Monday.
Monday?
Yes, and then the following Monday, the
Maybe.
Democrats get their swing.
Maybe. I'm scheduled to be there for that.
For the Democratic or the Republican
Yes,
convention?
no.
Both?
I'd like to do the Republican convention, but no, I'm on the
You'll
rules.
be there in spirit.
I'm in the rules committee of the Democratic
Oh, really?
operation. Yeah.
Well, I guess people in the Q&A at the end can kind of lobby you for what they might want taken up in the Rules Committee.
Well, I got to assume I was put there to make sure Bernie didn't win.
Bernie endorsed today.
Yeah, yesterday.
yeah. They went to New
endorsed
Hampshire.
Hillary.
No, yeah, she's the one, yeah.
Well, he always did say that he was going to do everything in his power to make sure Trump didn't win. So it doesn't surprise me that he embraced Hillary.
I think the only reason he hung on forever was so that he could give a chance to all those Californians who donated $27 to him so that they could vote for him. I think he just hung on to give them that chance. And then they didn't. I know, but yeah.
Well, they haven't finished the count, I don't think.
No. You're right.
We Californians are kind of that way. We learned from Chicago.
Yeah,
to
and you
count.
think Philadelphia will be like Chicago in '68?
No, it will not be. It will not be. There will not be the kind of demonstrations that happened in '68. Although I'm smiling because in 1968 I was on the Credentials Committee.
Jesus.
And I led the
They
fight.
can't have one of these without you, can they?
Hopefully not. I actually led the fight to kick Maddox out of the convention in the seat, the Julian Bond delegation. And we succeeded. We succeeded in doing that. And then, of course, Chicago 7 came along and all that kind of stuff. People burning their draft cards. But it did lead to a dramatic change in how the Democratic Party selected its delegates to the convention from that point on. And when George McGovern came along in 1972, you recall that the people who were on what you'd call the progressive radical side were the Shirley Chisholm people who were at the convention there. And then the more moderates were the people who were supporting Hubert Humphrey and Jackson and that crowd, Storm Jackson or whatever that was name was from Washington.
Right.
And Scoop Jackson. Storm Jackson.
So, isn't that a baseball player? Scoop Jackson?
That's Storm Chaser.
Oh, okay.
At any rate, by the time 72 came along, Chicago had not been in vain and all the things that were done. And even today, the Democratic Party has a better selection process for delegates than they have ever had. And you get more ordinary people.
But the Democrats also, when they pick their delegates, I mean, Republicans, started out proportionally. New Hampshire and Iowa, it was kind of proportional. And then about halfway through with Wisconsin, then they went to winner take all. See, the Democrats never do that because they're the nurturing party.
No. Winner take all is.
No, they don't have winner take all, Democrats.
Let me tell you, the fight that we had in 1972 was over whether or not all of those delegates that had won in various places for McGovern should be seated. And sure enough, they were seated, and the Shirley Chisholm people were kicked out, and Barbara Lee didn't speak to me for 20 years. And the people who were supporting Hubert Humphrey, Jackson, they got kicked out as well. And the McGovern delegates it was fun because California was seen as a fabulous, albeit wonderful luxury type state, and that would be the delegation. And so we were at the Rail Country Club, not even
Doral?
regular hotel. Yeah, well,
You were at Doral?
Durrell.
Yeah, because both conventions in '72 were in Miami.
Yeah.
For no apparent reason.
Yeah, well, that's the way they broadcast in those days. They couldn't get two setups. and so at the Durrell Hotel, and the Durrell Country Club, which is where we were, they had anticipated, a golf crowd, a martini crowd, a shopping crowd, and we showed up with farm workers, social welfare recipients, and it was the first time any gays had ever been part of any delegation. Jim Foster, we actually got him to address the convention, the very first gay ever to address a national convention, out of closet gays, address the national convention. I'm sure
I'm pretty sure James Buchanan actually addressed that convention.
Well, then there's J. Edgar Hoover, but that's besides the point.
Well, at any rate, we had this delegation, and it was kind of a ragtag by usual delegate standards, and that's the kind of delegation we had. At that place, you'd walk into the bar, you walk into the coffee room, places of that nature, and they had fresh fruit, they had sweets, and they had coffee to drink, anticipating, that ultimately you're going to buy the expensive stuff. Well, by the second day, they'd stop putting all that. They had removed all of that. They didn't even have salt shakers.
Celery sticks and dip.
We were so poor. I mean, it was a fun delegation because we had some really superstars in our delegation at the time. We had Shirley MacLaine was part of that delegation.
Tom Hayden?
No, Tom Hayden. Well, he was still in Chicago.
He was fighting.
He was fighting in court. But we had superstars. We had Warren Beatty, John Burden, and Dolores Herter, and I were the three co-chairs of that delegation. So you see right out with the content of that delegation, and we had whatever Hollywood activists were that was not following John Wayne. They were there at our part of our delegation, and it was really fun because they had resources, and when they removed all of the things that we were living off on the tables, they started supplying it. So that's how we kind of did it. We put in a way to do breakfast, and when everybody get a free breakfast, and that's what we did. And that delegation was really.
Was that your favorite one?
Well, no, not necessarily the favorite.
What was '76 like?
We're going to go up through every one of them?
84 was the best.
'84 was here.
You got it.
There you go.
84 was the real Democratic Convention. That was the one where the town became attendees at the convention. And that's where we did that great thing, Oh, What a Night, down on the waterfront.
I remember.
Yeah, we that's right, Pier 40.
It's the party I couldn't get into.
Wendy Lincoln put that, and we worked on it
with the little the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, we had all of that. Yeah. We were the forerunner to all these elaborate Stanley Gaddy type parties. We did. And it was the hottest ticket, literally the hottest ticket. It was a ticket like Hamilton. I mean, it was really a very hot ticket. I remember when Jimmy Carter's operation came in and said, Mr. Brown, Nancy Pelosi said that you're handling the tickets to the event that you're doing. I said, yeah, I am. So, well, President Carter would like 100 tickets. Come on, give me a break. What are you talking about? He gets 2.
Willie Brown knows conventions.
100 tickets he wanted?
He wanted 100 tickets. Anytime you send your surrogate out to do something, that's, they were going to act as if they were the big time guys with the tickets. I wanted to be the big time guys. So why in the hell should I give them more than 10 tickets? So when I saw the president, when I saw Jimmy Carter wandered around the party area, I told him, I hope you had a sufficient number of tickets per your request. Oh, yes, I got plenty of tickets. I was right.
Here on the Will and Willie Show, we're pre-convention here with the Republicans on Sunday. On Monday, we're on Sunday on the air right now, and also then the Democrats on Monday. Now, with Bernie Sanders already saying that he's endorsing Hillary, there is some chatter on the internet and Facebook that, and as someone who was the credential committee, you would know, that he had to endorse her in order to attend the convention. And as far as I know, that was a misread of the idea of the fact that he endorsed her, like there was some sort of plot that he's going to pull something at the convention and he had to endorse her to get his credentials, but that you have to endorse the nominee, and she hasn't been nominated
Well, she
yet,
gets
so.
to choose who speaks because she's got her people. So he probably would have spoke, at 2:30 in the afternoon, and maybe on Tuesday.
No. He would have spoken day after the
Day,
convention.
yeah, on Friday. On Friday the 29th.
That's
yeah.
right. He's gone.
At a cheesesteak shop. He'll be right in that corner between Gino's and the other one, yeah.
You recall that he was trying to get rid of the chair of the Democratic Party. He was trying to get rid of
Deborah Wasserman Schultz.
That's right. Remember, he said she has to go and what have you. She is going to be presided at the convention. And so Bernie Sanders had to work out a way in which he could help defeat Trump. And I think that's what he did. I don't think he was trying to get access to the floor of the convention. I think he really does want to beat Trump.
What's interesting this time is that Clinton, Bill, he hates Trump, but not as much as Obama hates Trump. There's something visceral. I mean, you saw it when he does his little throwaways, we don't need a tweeter in chief and stuff like that. How Trump thinks it's just another little, and he doesn't realize the gravity of this position. And I think Obama is really invested in making sure that Hillary gets continues the legacy, the third Obama term.
Well, it shouldn't surprise you, Wilt, because, Trump has made Obama a hate object, or he's attempted to make him a hate object.
Yeah.
He first questioned whether or not he was born.
Captain of the SS Bertha, yeah.
Yeah, and then he said, where was he born? Initially, maybe he wasn't born at all, according to Trump. And then where? And so there has been an ongoing war on Obama by Trump.
Also, there's rumors that when Obama took him out at the Correspondents' Dinner, and Trump was in the audience, remember? And Obama was making fun of him, that he decided then and there that he was going to run for president and show him.
Well, Trump can't take a hit.
No.
When Elizabeth Warren,
Yeah, she's good.
oh man, I'd turn her loose every day of the week. I'd have her following.
Yeah.
I'd have her following Trump everywhere. If Trump was here on the show, I'd have Elizabeth Warren out there interrupting the show. It would drive him crazy.
He and his little hands.
Yeah. And it would cause him to stay natural. What we got to fear about Trump is that he's an actor, and he will adjust as needed unless
with the proper
teed off.
script. Yeah.
That's right, with the proper script, unless teed off. Now, some people can really tee him off, and I believe that Elizabeth is one that can really make him go nuts,
Push him off script.
and it may be that Bernie may be able to do the same thing. He's been able to get under lots of people's skin, and he might be able to get under Trump's skin just by being Bernie.
Who do you see Trump picking as VP?
Probably Newt.
Isn't that double indemnity to have Newt Gingrich and Donald Trump?
The Six Wives Club. That's what the ticket will be called.
That's a good line. I'm gonna put that in my column.
Go ahead. Or Pence? What about Pence?
That's a good place to find a quality candidate. The Democrats have now found he's going to run for the Senate
Yeah.
in that state, in that vacant seat, and we may end up winning that Senate seat because the bias for a long time was there. That guy, you remember, really messed up when he said some negative things some years ago about women. Got himself into some real trouble. And he pulled himself out because it turns out that his family values had been not dissimilar from Newt's or Trump's in some respect. And so he has some liabilities. But I think it's much easier to define, the public can define Newt. So I'm pushing Trump to do Newt.
Yeah. Or Christie.
Well,
because he needs a pit bull. You know, he needs a surrogate pit bull. He's got to be able to get off, you know, and look like the calm guy and have Chris Christie, who has climbed so far up the Donald's butt. So I mean, really, he could be charged with impersonating a suppository. Honestly. No, because did you see that party they had at Mar-a-Lago after one of the primary victories? And Christie was up there, and he looked like a bouncer, you know. And he stood up there while Trump was speaking, and Trump was obviously pissed. And, what the hell?
Well, I would think that Christie probably wouldn't work. I think he's saving him for the attorney generalship on the basis that...
Giuliani looks like he wants that.
Well, but it's in a different century. Giuliani was way back. Did you hear that nonsense that he was doing?
God.
I couldn't believe it. No. How could you not be conversant with the reality of today? He really was not and is not. And that...
Did you hear Newt? What Newt said about Black Lives, and where he said that we white people have no idea what it's like to be African American, and that was very thoughtful coming from Newt, Vice President Newt. That's why I'm hoping Hillary picks John Hickenlooper, because Vice President Hickenlooper is just fun to say.
It sounds like a Groucho Marx character.
Hickenlooper, and Schultz. Speaking.
You know, Hillary is going to pick, according to one of the scribes who does not write, Lee Housekeeper, he's going to pick Kaine.
Tim Kaine?
Yeah.
A man so boring he could accept a charisma implant from Al Gore.
Or Joe Lieberman.
Or Richard Gephardt. But I figured that was a little too far away from this crowd.
Yeah, Gephardt's too far back. They have no idea who's Gephard.
Yeah, I know.
But I think that's who she picks. I think Lee is right when he advocated that to me, because the governor of that state was the chair of Hillary's last campaign.
Well, it helps.
McAuliffe.
Yeah, Terry McAuliffe.
Yeah.
And Bill's campaign, too. So she can't pick, because doesn't Massachusetts have a Republican governor?
Yeah, they do.
So
therefore you can't pick
Elizabeth Warren.
And you can't pick Cory Booker.
Then the Republican governor gets to choose the replacement. So that's why, and Cory Booker, because Christie would pick.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So you will almost have to eliminate some of the people just on that basis, because you're trying to net 5.
Yeah, and Mitch McConnell is afraid of the Trump effect. He convinced Marco Rubio to rerun for his Senate seat.
But Rubio may lose.
Yes. Well,
because Rubio got exposed. Little Marco.
I can't believe you're quoting the Donald.
The Donald was absolutely fabulous for his identifying.
Oh, man.
And it stuck. I mean, he was good at it. He was really good at it.
Lion Ted. Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody's done one on him. How come no one does one on him?
He said Bush asleep.
Yeah, low energy. Low energy jab.
And we all looked at him as if he had low energy.
And he was right.
And then he said about Fiorina, he said, now, the face. I mean, whoa.
Look at that face.
And so, obviously, we need to make sure that the Donald gets.
How come
his
no one's
just
done
due.
one on him? No one's done it. Would it be stooping to his level? I mean, Ted didn't do it. Marco didn't do it.
They couldn't. There's an absence of skill.
I think this is going to change the template of running for president in the United States.
Already has.
No, but I mean in future, you're going to find someone good at that, who's going to eschew all the normal political connections that you normally have to make and just go straight to the people. And someone good at that, because I don't think his temperament is right. I don't think he's going to get elected. Of course, I am the worst prognosticator ever. I thought that Obama would lose to Hillary. I didn't think the Donald would last a month. So if you want to know what's going to happen, just ask me and then
Will
do the
Durst.
reverse. Yeah.
We're going to be going on to our next segment.
Oh, what is it?
Well, we have Broke-Ass Stuart.
Oh, good.
Stuart Schuffman is in the house, and he'll join us as a guest. And then our third segment, we'll do a Q&A with the audience. And we're here on the Will and Willie Show, live from the Marsh Theater in San Francisco.
With a live studio audience.
And I'm Paul Wells. We'll be right back.